Good morning. Hello, Facebook. Hello, hello. Good morning. It is 9:30, 25th of February. Just 3 short days left here. 3 short days left here. So, all right. It's a little tricky here that when I'm on Facebook on live on my computer, because I'm just not used to this format already. And then they changed it at one point. So, here we go. All right. All right. Good morning, everybody. I usually use my phone for Facebook Live, but I've been using an older computer for it, which is working out good. I just tricky to see when it actually logs me in and gets me going here. So, good morning, everybody. It is the 25th of February. It's 9:30 a.m. If you're tuning in live, drop a comment, #live. It's on the replay, #replay. The replay you can always watch here on Facebook. And most times we get the replay on YouTube. So you go to our YouTube channel and it's all categorized out. So you'll see all the different topics. A lot of cool, exciting things going on here at Aroma Time. I was mentioned how I've been back in my office and I was cleaning my office out here, and over the last 11 months, I really haven't used my office because I've been in the kitchen in the restaurant and set up my office at the bar every day, just because we were so busy. I was so busy doing a lot of things, and it was a successful 2020. So that was super exciting. I'm actually going to start documenting a lot of our business ideas and strategies that we did, because a lot of people keep asking me for what we did different. Now I'm being asked to speak at several different trade shows that are coming up for 2021 and 2022 about our secret recipe to success during COVID. So I'm really excited about that. Let's see. So it's Thursday. Tonight is burger night, $9.99 to go burgers. Our salmon entree is still $9.99 all week long until Sunday. Sunday is shrimp curry and mussels. I guess I probably need to get an email ready to go out. We're working on a new contest. We're going to give away a $100 gift card. We're getting ready to give away a $100 gift card. We're going to do a beer post here, hopefully by the end of the day. If not tomorrow, we do a lot of testing on it. You'll be able to get an automated message back to officially sign up, and then we'll pick a random winner again. And it'll probably run for the next week or so. And so it'll be a beer post. Just need to drop a comment on your favorite style, type, or favorite beer. So, in the process of cleaning my office, I found this article. I found this article that I had laminated here years ago, back in 1998. The date's not on here, but it's 1998. So quite some time ago, about 23 years ago, right? So the title of the article is "Don't Forget the Salt," advises Broadmoor chef. So I had no idea this article was written or was being written until somebody actually handed it to me, and it was pretty cool. So this is an article. This is like one of the very first articles on me. I had a couple previous ones about ice carving that I had done, but this one here is really cool. So this is 1998. Don't forget the salt, advises Broadmoor chef. At a recent cooking class at the Little Kitchen at the Broadmoor, Marcus Guiliano, the demi-chef for the Penrose Room, demi-chef as a sous chef, demi-chef for the Penrose Room, offered the following recommendations for using salt. Salt, he explained, is essential for good cooking and should not be considered an optional seasoning. Salt actually helps bring to life the natural flavors of an ingredient, adding body to stocks, sauces, enlivening the flavor of pastries and cakes, giving balance to the final dish. Unrefined sea salt is preferred over any other salt, and I'll talk about that more. We use coarse sea salt for sauces and soups, and other long cooking processes that will give adequate time to dissolve. Kosher salt is not a satisfactory substitute. I knew this back then. Kosher salt is not a satisfactory substitute for sea salt. He said it is the same chemical properties as common table salt. The flavors are both too aggressive and too chemical. So yeah, I'm not a fan of kosher salt. I never have been a fan of kosher salt. Most restaurants use kosher salt for a lot of things. They use kosher salt, just regular cooking and seasoning, and it's inexpensive. It's chemically processed. It's like regular table salt. It's not anything special. You can get high quality salt, unrefined sea salt, that is kosher style or kosher ground. But as far as regular kosher salt, you go and buy regular box of regular kosher salt. That is nothing different than regular table salt. It goes through a lot of heat processing, stripping. It's nothing special at all. Does let me see if people drop in comments. Good morning, everybody. So hi Joel, hi Karen, hi Brenda. So is anybody here on Clubhouse? I joined Clubhouse yesterday. I've been meaning to join Clubhouse for a while. But is anybody on Clubhouse here? Because somebody invited me last week to Clubhouse and said, Marcus, there's a great discussion going on right now, a great room going on. If you don't know what Clubhouse is an app, social media app, and you get into rooms and you have certain speakers that are on the floor speaking, talking, and it's a great way to like engage with people that are your potential mentors or people that are people that I have an order here now. Hold on one second. All right, so I have an order here. I got to leave in a couple of minutes. So Clubhouse, it's an app. You get into these rooms, and there's different rooms. People can invite you in. Like I got invited by a friend of ours yesterday, Tom, who does franchise coaching. He said, Marcus, here, to me, two franchise coaches are in this room. Come join us. So I joined him. And another friend, Chris, said, hey, join us for this business room. So you can join rooms. And last week, somebody said, hey, there's a room going on about Hudson Valley restaurants. And I couldn't get into on Sunday because I just wasn't accessible. I didn't have the app downloaded, nor did I have an invite. But you can get into rooms, and I think a lot of the topics that I talk about, like wild salmon, salt, true chocolate, cacao, all these like health things and all these things on food would be great topics on Clubhouse. So if anybody's on Clubhouse, just drop a comment and say yes. Clubhouse is not that popular yet, but the great thing is I'm liking Clubhouse because I can get like in rooms. There's 100 people in the room, and you have somebody pretty famous in the room, like hosting it, that's right there talking, that you can actually engage with, which is really cool. I was in a Grant Cardone room the other day, and there was only a couple hundred people in yesterday. There was only a couple hundred people in the room, and you could talk to Grant. Same thing with Brad Lee. I got into one of his rooms, and there's a couple hundred people in the room, and you can actually talk to him, even though I'm on his coaching call every week. But but there's like these people that you can get into and follow these people and get into rooms with them, and it's really cool. And they're just talking candidly. I'm going on there for a lot of business advice, but there's a lot of different categories that you can go in there for. So that's really cool. So Clubhouse. Salt. I'm going to give a little rundown of salt real quick, and I got to go check this order in. So I see Marianne is commenting. Hi, Marianne. So salt. So all salt comes from the sea. So when you see the word sea salt on a container, it all comes from the sea. Originally, the salt was born in the sea. Himalayan mountain salt, those were seabeds that then rose through, and now there's benefits of them being in very sheltered, isolated, non-polluted peaks of these Himalayan mountains that are typically from Pakistan, is where that's mined at. Himalayan salt is a generic term for salt that's mined in Himalayan mountains. It means that the salt can come from any of the 50 or 60 mines that are happening in Pakistan. Each mine is different. Each mine has different standards. Some mines are very, very strict and no machinery. They don't want to disturb the vibrational frequencies of the salt. Other mines are just processing it, more normal. Or there's do more processing. So every Himalayan salt is not created the same. You get what you pay for on salt. We use Redmond Real Salt. It's from Utah. One mine, one owner. It comes from underneath the ground, isolated, no pollution. 40-foot deep mine. They discovered this years ago, the family, and it was an ancient seabed. So Redmond Real Salt is considered sea salt as well, right? So we use the real salt. I love the real salt. When you cook with salt, you always want to season the main ingredient first. If you start adding in all these different herbs and spices and everything, and then try to salt, you're actually salting an array of different compounds. If you can just salt your main ingredient perfectly fine, and then do your finishing touches as far as basil or whatever you're adding on, olive oil, then you're going to it's going to be easier for you to gauge the salt levels on that dish. That's just a little chef's tip there. Always salt the main ingredient, and don't salt like stocks when you're reducing them because it will get too salty. If you found out you've salted something too much, a little bit of lemon juice can cure it. The acidity in the lemon juice can cure it. If you don't want to add salt, a little bit of lemon juice might take away your urge for salt. If it's a soup, a sauce, or something, you throw a potato in, and a potato, of course, absorbs like a sponge. That's an old trick that Grandma used to do, throw a potato in the soup to get rid of the salt content. So, and if you're buying bouillon cubes, if you're buying any of those kinds of things, they are loaded with sodium and MSG typically. You have to spend a lot of money and buy a really high-end natural one if you're doing that. But salt, I'll do a whole thing on salt because I have to go check this order in, but I can really get involved in salt, and we'll do that this year. And if anybody's on Clubhouse, I'll be doing some rooms in there as well on health, nutrition, real food, things like that. So that's exciting. So if you're on Clubhouse, make sure you're following me. One Chef on a Mission, the numeral one Chef on a Mission over on Clubhouse, and stay tuned for that. So yeah, going through my. Now I didn't know this article was written. The lady who was the food journalist, the food editor at the Colorado Springs Gazette, was one of the attendees of my class that I was teaching there. She was one of the attendees. I had no idea who she was. And lo and behold, the food section comes out that next week, and there's an article about me in there. They didn't ask me, tell me anything. People started saying, "Hey, you're in the newspaper. You're in the newspaper." So then I immediately called her, left her a message, and said, "Thank you so much. I appreciate it for your, for mentioning me this and that." She goes, "No, it was so informative. It was great." And then for me making that phone call to her, I started working very well with her. And the rest is history. There's tons and tons of articles on me in the Colorado Springs Gazette. So that article is by Teresa Farney. All right, folks, I got to go. Talk to everybody later. Have an amazing day, and we'll hopefully see you soon. Hello?